Hi, everybody.
Yo, Chuckle Buddy, guess what? Johnathan Ramcharan reporting live for duty, January 30th, 2018. Damn. Here we go again. Welcome to Johnathan Ramcharan, the podcast. Got some goodies to talk about today here. So, I'm a performer, stand-up comic, and I love it. In order to keep those dreams burning, I work as a temporary employment, precarious labor, precarious job market situation. Does that make me sound more dignified? You know, when somebody explains their job in a dignified manner, does it make it less painful? I'm actually a temporary working specialist, consultant, estimating time frame management skills and, different diversion tactics for allocating specific material supplies on a given job site, relegating and delegating those materials, allocating and organizing and dismembering and compartmentalizing just different materials. And that would make me a temporary labor contracting subcontractor. And yes, meaning I haven't had a fucking date since 2013. And I wish I was joking. But yeah, I'm a temporary laborer, and I just like work on construction sites. I throw garbage in garbage bins. I sweep up dust. I sometimes I'll get sent to the mall, and they'll be like, "We got an order of shoes that got to get unloaded off of this loading dock pronto. Send in the heavies." Right? So then me and a couple guys will show up and like, just fucking unload a truck or something. It's awesome. It's like, it's stress-free. It's cash in hand, or not cash in hand. It's a daily ticket. It's all above board. We get taxed. The government knows about us. So, and it's awesome. And it keeps me humble and keeps me thirsty for fucking my art, baby. Yeah. Daddy's a jazz artist, baby. Skibbity bebop badoo. I don't give a fuck. And it's great. And but it's just kind of funny, the cross-section of people, like the fucking Toronto Metro Police undercover unit or whatever. They were at our job office the other day looking for a man. It's like some guy with like a trench coat and a fedora. He's like kind of skulking around in like the lobby of our dispatch office for the temp workers. He's like loitering in the fucking foyer. He's just like, "Hey there, kid. Yeah, you see any suspicious stuff going on around here lately? We're on a case. We're looking for a man. John Doe. 5'11", red hair." Like, I don't know. Like, he's just like, what happened? Like, I guess they're like investigating some kind of like crime and like they're casing our fucking agency for suspects. Like, that's just the kind of people that work at this fucking agency, man. Like, just drug addicts, alcoholics, homeless people with mental disorders. A merry band of miscreants. And it's just funny, the cross-section of people. And then sometimes the jobs that we get sent on, right? Like, for like the Invictus games, I believe. They're like they're a game for like war criminals or something. Like war criminals that... they commit atrocity and all sorts of war crimes and, rape, murder, genocide. And Prince Harry of merry old England, Prince Harry, he started an Invictus games, right? It's for people that have been evicted from society, war criminals, and they can get together and participate in different, athletic events, shot put, gas chambers, stuff like that. And Prince Harry was in town for the Invictus games like a couple months ago, and our agency was sent to the Maple Leaf Gardens, which is like one of the places that he was going to be touring. We were sent there to like, I wasn't there, but my agency was there to like, I don't know, set up some fucking event for his fucking majesty's pleasure. So they sent this one guy, we nicknamed him Sleepy, right? He's this like Indian guy from like, I don't know, he's from India or Bangladesh or some shit, right? And his name's Anthony, but we call him Sleepy because he's always like falling asleep. Like in the middle of a shift, he'll just pass out, or like he'll like slink away to go sleep in a closet or something. Sleepy, and he just mutters on and on, right? He'd just be like, I just going to the mall and it's time for double. Like, what the? Shut the fuck up, Sleepy. I don't want to hear this shit. What the fuck? Spit it out, Sleepy. What the fuck do you want? You know? So anyway, fucking Sleepy, he's over at Maple Leaf Gardens, and his job is to run the elevator, right? So Prince Harry shuffles out of his fucking coach and wagon or whatever. It's like, oh, hey there, mate. Good morning to you. Top of the morning. My name's Prince Harry. Yeah. Do you know who the black women are? I like some black pussy while I'm on vacation. Prince Harry. I'm Prince Harry. Then he fucking gets into an elevator, and he's like, oh, going up, governor. And then fucking Sleepy was there to work the elevator to like usher him up to the, I don't know, the conference level of the Maple Leaf Gardens or whatever, right? So Sleepy's all like, I double, which way do you want to go, Prince Harry? And I'm Prince Harry, today. So it's just kind of funny, just like a fucking street beggar that has narcolepsy is in contact, brushing elbows with Prince Harry of the fucking UK. You know, so it's just, what a fucking mind trip, man. Like the scum of the earth, you know? Somebody called us that once, right? Like, I don't take offense to it. Like, you know, everybody's got to piss and it all swills downhill, right? But everybody's got to shit downhill, right? But, and I don't get offended. Like, I give a fuck, man. I know who I am. But, you know, somebody called us the worst scum of the universe. He's like, those temp workers, you know, they're the worst scum of the earth. They didn't know that I was like I was one of them, right? Like, that's another thing. A lot of the people they think I'm like quote unquote normal, so they'll confide in me, right? They're like, what's with all these fucking temp workers? You know, they're the worst scum of the universe. Look at these fucking miscreants. I'm like, oh, by the way, those are like my coworkers, and they're like, I mean, you know. They're not that bad, I guess. So long story short, man, we'd work a lot of fucking weird jobs. And yesterday I was working a job for Loblaws Canada. Loblaws. You know the company? It's the largest grocery chain in Canada. And they were recently in the news for price fixing. A bread price fixing scam. So it's like they, amongst their competitors, get into a collusion where they set the prices of bread to incrementally keep the prices on a steady rise through the years, or to lock the price at a certain price, which they obviously benefit from, right? They make more money that way. And they were in the news recently for price fixing. These fucking people are like, they don't give a fuck about anything but profit, Loblaws. They also have a clothing line called Joe Fresh. I don't know if they own that company, but they're in partner with it. And Joe Fresh was amongst one of the several clothing companies that was in a fucking, I don't know what you want to call it, a human rights trial or case or whatever. Their factory of production in Bangladesh, one of them a couple years back, They were so poorly maintained. They were jamming fucking little Bangladeshi children in there to make clothing around the clock so you can go to fucking Walmart and buy a fucking hoodie with a fucking Captain America emblem on it and wear it to the fucking mall and try to be cute with your stupid fucking friends, right? They produce these shitty fucking clothing at a fucking bottom bargain price. And they stuff all these Bangladeshi children into a fucking factory. The fucking thing burns down. They can't escape because obviously it's overcapacitated. And all the fucking fire exits are like faulty and like, you know, poorly run down. And people burn to death in this fucking factory fire. And these are the companies that are in bed with Loblaws, right? This Joe Fresh, H&M, these type of companies, right? And that's the kind of fucking company that Loblaws is. They don't give a fuck about anything but profit, you know? And they try to be cute with that stupid asshole with the glasses. You know that guy? Sometimes he's on those commercials. If you don't search for more, then you don't want more. He's like the fucking spokesperson. He's like some silver fox, I guess. You know, like some white guy with like gray hair and glasses, and he thinks he's cute. He tries to fucking be cute, and if you don't search for more, then you don't want more. Oh, good fucking guess. Good fucking... Is that your advice? If I don't search for more, I won't want more? How about if people don't die in fucking factory fires, then I won't want nothing other than bananas at a decent price? You fucking cocksucker. So that's Loblaws Canada for you in a nutshell. They had a trade show yesterday, Loblaws Canada. So my agency went to go work their trade show, right? And what a debacle. Well, I won't even call it a debacle. I mean, it was actually a very decent day of work, which I'll get to. But, you know, just the filth behind that company, Loblaws, was kind of like, kind of made my palate quiver, to say the least, right? But anyways, the trade show was held at the Toronto Metro Convention Center. And that's kind of a fun thing about my little journey as a performer and as a temp worker. I got to work all these random little gigs. So yeah, I'm down at the Metro Convention Center yesterday. And we pulled a 10-hour shift, like an 11-hour shift. You know, we started at noon, and we get to the Metro Convention Center, and all these fucking yuppies from Loblaws are wandering around with their stupid little badges on and shit, trying to be important, pretending like they have no human rights violations under their fucking belt. Oh, hi, hey, how's it going? I work for Loblaws. Oh, shut the fuck up. So, we get there, and basically we're tearing down the trade show, right? And it's just such a waste of money. It's all this, like, there's these booths, and there's all these, like, party equipment. Like, you know when a company throws a company party, and they just buy all this useless shit to try to entertain their fucking guests, and try to like build like, it's a team building exercise. We're all gonna get into this potato sack and hop across a fucking foyer. It's team building, Candace. You know, and I'm a kid again. I hate that shit. I hate that shit when like they try to get you to play ping pong or like, you know, we're going to go tobogganing. I'm a kid again. Look at the gleeful wonder in my eye. I'm a kid again. You know, it's so stupid. So like they're doing all these stupid little, you know, they're playing darts and bingo and fucking having sock hops and shit. So I'm there to clean up the fucking mess, right? You know, of course. And, we get there with the cavalry, the temp workers, and I was on a good crew, a bunch of cool guys, and so we get there, and we're getting ready to you know, just tear down the trade show and throw away all this rubble, this useless garbage that Loblaws, you know, with all their bread price fixing money, was able to you know, shell out. All this fucking waste that's just gonna end up in, you know, the garbage, you know, basically, ultimately. So, you know, before we're getting ready for our shift, the guy that's like the head foreman that's like supervising all the workers for this fucking teardown, you know, he's a real square asshole, you know. He's like, I don't want to see any drapery on the ground. I don't want to see this. I don't want to see that. And the drapery. There's to be no drapery on the ground. They had all these fucking drapes hung to look like, some fancy rock video. Like when YouTube plays a new single and they sing and they're standing on a carpet and there's like drapery in the background. There's all these drapes everywhere. Drapes. Oh, don't I feel like I'm at home, When I was a toddler, I used to shit behind the drapes. That's what my mother told me. I'd sneak off and take a dump behind the drapes. That's all I was thinking. Like, maybe I'll go take a shit behind those drapes. Oh, look at the drapes. There's so many drapes everywhere. So we're taking down the drapes, and the foreman's like, I want to see no drapes on the ground. Like, calm down, you fucking wacko. So we get to work, and, this is just like some of the daily minutia of daily joy, really, because like there's going to be a time in my life when I can't do this type of work anymore. That's why I'm so happy to do it. Because like it's a physical job. You're moving things around. You're screwing things. Wink, wink. You're nailing things, hammering things, beating things. And you're moving and you're using your body and it's great, right? So like I'm happy to do it now because there's going to be a time when I can't. I'm going to be like some fucking 90-year-old man. I can't do that shit no more. Chuckle Buddy's retired, man. I was like, so I'm grateful for it now. And it puts bread on my table. And it fucking pays my bills. So it's all good. Nothing to worry about. And the guys were really cool, man. Like, they're like these yokel type dudes, but they're really cool. Like, I don't know. They're just funny. And like, we were able to talk and get along really well. And I don't know if you've ever been at these trade shows or these teardowns, but there's like different unions for it, right? Like event setup and stuff like that. And there's a lot of like, I guess you would call like event setup people, industry people. I don't know what you would call them, like technicians, the tech people, right? And there's always, they always have this certain type, right? They wear the Blundstone boots and they always got little belt holders with like pen knives and highlighters and Sharpies in them. And they try to be trendy and shit. And, it's kind of funny. Like, I guess they're like struggling artists as well, right? Like that's the type of person that does these type of jobs, like event setup, temporary labor, people who want to be artistic and free. And for the good or the bad, that's what it is, right? Like, I mean, who am I to say they are artistic or they aren't? They always show it more than I do. I don't fucking dress any particular way, right? I wear like normal looking shit. But a lot of these people, they're always trying to look artistic, They got tattoos up to the gills. They're wearing Blundstone boots. They got some stupid haircut. And but one thing I noticed about the women is like they got that real sexy tattoo girl look to them. A lot of these like setup girls, like they got that sexy tattoo girl like Nightmare Before Christmas look. What's this? What's this? There's magic in the air. What's this? What's this? I never understood that. Like there's some kind of weird thing in the white woman subculture where it's like they're really into that fucking Nightmare Before Christmas, that Tim Burton film. I don't know, it's just kind of strange, but they got that sorrowful tattoo girl look, like the sadistic, masochistic, I cut myself at night, kind of cute, sultry kind of look, it's like, oh, look at her, she's depressed and shit. They got that look. And to be honest, I'm not really into that look anymore, not that I ever really was, but like, living in Toronto, I got that fucking jungle fever, baby. Jungle lion. I got that jungle fever, man. But, on a little side tangent there, that's what I'm saying. There's these, like, little fucking tattoo goddesses skimping around and, like, they got their stupid hard hats on and their little fucking reflector vests and shit looking important. So, I'm staring at that all day yesterday. That was kind of nice. And, so here, check this out. Here's the caveat, if that's the word. So, the blessing being it's a great day, it's a great shift. We're all working, we're all getting along real well. And, sometimes you score on these jobs where it's like there's like a catered event, right? Because it was for obviously Loblaws, those price-pinching fucking soul bandits. Those price-fixing bastards, they're a grocery company, obviously, right? So they were, I guess, they catered it, right? So they had all these fancy cooks cooking their brand name of food and stuff, right? And there was a smorgasbord. Oh my God, there was like leftover sandwiches of all types, right? All sorts of great food. And a lot of the guys in the crew were these big guys, right? Like these big kind of chubby guys, heavyset guys, heavyset fellas. I heard somebody call them, oh, the heavyset fellas. There was like 5 of them. There were like some pretty big guys, man. They really were. Like, and this one guy, Sean, he works for my agency as well. And he looks like CeeLo Green.
I see you driving around town with the girl I love, and I'm like, fuck you and a fuck her too, and if I was richer, then I would be with her. Ain't that some shit?
Fucking CeeLo Green, Sean, his name's Sean. He looks like CeeLo Green, and there's this other guy, Clinton, this other tall black guy, Clinton, and he's like, Sean, go see if we can get some of that food, right? They had the food like on a red carpet. There's like this fucking red carpet that was like the size of a city block, and it had a table on it, like this long ass table, and there was all this food on it, right? And there was a security guard. This guy looked like he had like some kind of mental disorder. Like honestly, I'm not even trying to be funny. He just looked like he had a mental disorder. He had like this internal struggle that he kept battling with. He had like all these tics and twitches, and he's like staring at everybody and shit. It's like, that's a spectrum candidate right there. But the security guard, he's guarding the fucking table of sandwiches, right? And we're like, Sean, CeeLo, go check out the fucking sandwich table, see what you can do, man. So, Sean, he waddles over there and he's poking around and shit. He's making inquiries. And we're not sure, right? We're like, what the fuck? It's like, they're just going to throw that shit in the garbage, right? So then we're like, whatever. And the fat guys, they kept on grumbling about it. They're like, oh, look at him. Look at that fucking security guard, If he knows what's good for him, he better let us at that table. And he's like staring at them and shit. And so finally it's break time. And stampede. Turns out we're allowed at the fucking the goodie table, right? So all the big guys, they go waddling over, they're running, right? And I'm telling you, it was heaven sent. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. I'm talking Havarti falafel hummus wraps. I'm talking char-broiled veggie shish kebabs. Mouth-watering dessert trays. Oh, hearty sandwiches for the meat lovers. Cheese and potato soup. Ooh, jaw-smashing coffee at the freshest brew. All we had to do was dig it out of the compost bin, They're about to throw it in the compost bin. We're like, hey, wait, no, wait, we'll fucking take that. Oh, God, it was good, And now that I'm a sober man, like, that's where I really get my kicks these days, I find, Like, I'm sober as a fucking judge. And no, I'm not drinking. I'm having a coffee. Sober as a judge, and that's where I get like my fucking kicks these days. Like I like to eat healthy, and I eat healthy, and I'm a pescatarian. So hopefully that gets me some pussy. But yeah, I'm a pescatarian. Oh my God, how can you stand for the murder of young animals, you son of a bitch? No, I'm a pescatarian, miss. Oh well, so how long have you been a pescatarian? That's happened to me before. Women, they really turn that table quick when they find out that you do something with heart. They're like, oh my God, he has a heart. So, anyway, I'm a pescatarian, but now that I'm also a recovering alcoholic, that's where I get my joy. Oh, the joy of eating a fucking, like, having a nice dessert. Ooh, I remember the first time, like, food came back into my mind as something that is enjoyable. Because, like, when you're an active alcoholic, at least in my type, like, I didn't even consider food. Like, I ate, obviously. And I actually had the reversed effect. Like, whenever I smoked pot, which I did obviously, well, not that I did obviously, but I smoked weed every day pretty much as well. Like, weed I never got the munchies. Like, if I was smoking weed and drinking, I wouldn't get that hungry. But if I was just straight up drunk, like a sloppy drunk, then I'd be hungry. Like drinking made me hungry. Smoking weed made me like paranoid and like, not paranoid. Well, yeah, paranoid, but you know, I don't have to get into that. But yeah, I remember the first time food came back into my mind as something that is like pleasurable and to be like, you know, considered. Because I'd never considered it. It was just something you wake up and you're breathing. You know, you wake up and you have to eat. Like, that's how I looked at food. I didn't give a fuck about it. It was just something I had to do. I have to eat, right? More importantly, I had to get drunk. But I remember, I was maybe 2 months sober, and I walked into my office, the temporary labor office, and I go up to the counter, and there's some cupcakes on the counter. And there's a lady behind the counter. She goes, "Hey, John, you want a cupcake?" I was like, "Okay." She goes, "Which one?" And I was like, "Huh." I was like, "Which one?" And I'm looking at the cupcakes, right? And just that was the first time it dawned on me. It's like I hadn't even, like it never even occurred to me to really think about what I was eating when I was out there in addiction, because I didn't care. It was all about getting drunk and high. Like, food was a secondary thought. Like, I'll be hammered at fucking midnight. I'll stumble over to, pizza and get a slice or whatever, right? Like, I'm not going to give a fuck about making a meal plan, right? So, that's just the beauty of it. And that's why I was so grateful for that food, It was like some really interesting stuff, man. The Havarti falafel hummus wrap, that was bomb, man. Oh my God. It was so good. And, I had that. So check this out. The big boys, right? They're going fucking titties, man. They're going balls deep. The one dude had he ate a sub. It was a sub. It was like a salami and cheese and blah, 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 like sandwich. This thing was big. He had 2 of those. So it was like almost eating a foot-long sandwich from Subway. Sandwich from Subway, foot-long sandwich. Say that 10 times quick. Foot-long Subway for whatever. He ate like a foot-long sandwich from Subway, basically, right? And then he also had a pita wrap. And then he had like cookies and a pop. Round 2 comes around, right? And round 2 was fucking hilarious, right? It's the second break now, right? We're just like moving shit around, packing up little odds and ends from the trade show. So now it's our second break, right? And fuck, this cracked me up, man. This made my fucking night. Clinton, he goes, "Okay, guys, you ready for round 2? You guys ready for round 2? And he goes, "Last one over is a rotten dodo egg." Last one over is a rotten dodo egg. You guys remember that from the Flintstones? Wilma! Oh, hey, Fred. Hey, Bon, Oh. Yeah, man. Last one over is a rotten dodo egg. Like, that brought me back, man. Holy fuck. And it was just so childish and funny. And, like, they were racing each other, right? These big guys, they're, like, kind of elbowing each other and running for the fucking desserts and shit. It was just playful banter. It was kind of cool, you know what I mean? Little blessing for a nice day of work, right? And, but, as I was walking around the event hall, right? It was really starting to get kind of eerie. Because, like, it reminded me of The Shining. Like, I'm a kind of a creeper guy myself, right? Like, I recently just watched The Shining by myself in the dark, that's the kind of charm that I can put forward to a woman in the dating world. It's like, what are your hobbies? I don't know, watching horror movies alone in the dark, talking to myself and putting it on the internet. These are some of my hobbies. But I was watching The Shining alone in the dark on the weekend. And that's a fucking terrifying movie. And, like, the event hall was kind of creepy because it kind of looked like that, right? And I'm getting all these flashbacks from all these scenes, right? You remember that scene when Danny gets attacked by that woman in the shower? Wendy comes over to him. She's like, Jack, we gotta leave the hotel. Danny, we gotta get him to a doctor. He's like, that's just so fucking typical of you, isn't it, Wendy? When I finally start to do something for myself, when I'm really starting to get into my work, I could really write my ticket for myself, can't I? Go back to Boulder, work at a car wash, shoveling driveways. You have fucked my life up this far, but it's not gonna happen this time. Slams the door and like storms out. I'm like, holy fuck, right? It was like terrifying. And like, I really got the pain of, you know, obviously he's a horrible, afflicted man. So I don't want to sympathize too much with him. But he's an alcoholic, right? He plays an alcoholic, 5 months sober. And I fucking totally like just seeing that movie now, and like I first saw that movie when I was like a teenager. Here I am now, a 31-year-old man. I've probably seen that movie 10 times throughout the years, right? And it never, the whole alcohol part, like most people, when you don't really understand addiction, you really think it's just as simple as, you know, this is a person who drinks too much, and if they had any self-control, they could stop drinking. They don't really understand the full grip of an addiction, when it's like there's something that's happening to your body that's beyond your control. Well, it's not beyond your control, but for the time being, your body is addicted. You know, like your body is fighting a craving for the substance. So number one, there's the physical aspect. And number two, there's the mental aspect, like the mental obsession. You know, there's a mental obsession. There's a game of fucking chess in your head about whether or not you're going to drink. You know, and to see that as an alcoholic in recovery, and now as an aware alcoholic, and also as an alcoholic in recovery, like to see that torment he's going through from the very beginning of the film. Like you might wonder, why is he so fucking tormented or so angsty at the beginning of the film? Well, yeah, you know, he's sitting there in the manager's office and he's all smug and he's, you know, answering really tersely and he's really grouchy with his family from the very onset of the film. And yeah, he has all this shit that's going on in his head. He's got to support his family for sure. He's probably coming unglued mentally somehow, right? But there's also the alcoholism, right? And I saw that, like that fucking feeling of like 5 months sober and just like holding it together. And like when he goes into that fucking hall, you know, and he goes up to the bartender. I always liked you, Lloyd. Best goddamn bartender from Portland, Oregon to Portland, Maine. Timbuktu, for that matter. Whatever he says, right? Like that seduction of taking that first drink. Your money's no good here, Mr. Torrance. Have a drink. And the guy pours him a fucking bourbon. Oh my God. Like that seduction of taking that fucking drink and here's to 5 miserable goddamn months. He downs it down the hatch. Oh my God. It's like, I saw that and my heart cried out for the guy. Like 5 months. Like if you can, like when you're not used to even taking 5 hours sober. Like, I'm talking 5 hours. I'm talking, 50 minutes sometimes. Like, think of, like, when you're a full-on alcoholic and you're in that craving world, like, you can't even go 5 hours. You can't go 5 days. It's an eternity. It's hell. It's like you're so restless, irritable, and discontent. You hate yourself. You're crawling in your skin. Your mind is going a mile a minute. You don't want to live in yourself, but you don't want to die. You're just in this fucking angry, ugly state of mind, right? So when you fight through to that sobriety and when you get over to the other side, man, it's such a blessing. And then when you see somebody go back, oh my God, like it's like, oh man, here's to 5 goddamn miserable months. Takes a drink. Oh man, oh, and he's like, and then Wendy, his fucking, oh, what a darling she was. That's the first time watching that movie I realized too. She was actually, like, she was obviously a great mother, like in the film, but like, she really was the only one taking care of the Overlook Hotel. She was doing all the maintenance. She was checking the boiler. She was cooking the meals. She was taking care of Danny, the kid. Yeah, red rum. I used to do that shit, man, like as my joke. Like when I first started doing comedy 9 years ago, I used to do that shit, Johnathan's not here, Mrs. Torrance.
Like, who's Tony? He's the little boy that lives in the back of my mouth.
All that creepy shit. I'd go on stage all hammered. Red rum! Red rum! You know, I'm not saying it was funny. I'm just saying I did it. And, I don't know, I was like obsessed with that movie for a bit, you know. I'm like, I go on the stage, I'm like,
hi, everybody. Do you know who Tony is? He's the little boy that lives in the back of my mouth.
Red rum! Red rum! And fuck with my finger and shit. You know, it got a rise out of people. You know, if I was like some kind of, if I could like, you know, wear a scarf and hold a pipe or something and, you know, try to talk it up as some kind of alternative comedy that really, it's questioning the filmatic theme of, characterized so poignantly by the Stanley Kubrick. And what I'm doing is I'm holding a reflective mirror up to the art of, you know, give some hoity-toity response for why I did that. But, you know, I could probably get away with it too if I had like the fucking arrogance, but I'll just call it hack. It was kind of fun doing it though, you know. It's actually very fun screaming at an audience. You know, they might not have a fun time with it, but it's enthralling to just, you know, really yell at an audience. But anyways, back to Danny's mom there, you know, Shelley Duvall. Yeah, she you know, that voice of hers too, you know. When she's like radioing into the cops. You remember that? She's calling into the cops when they're having that snowstorm. She's like,
Roger.
I can't even really do her voice. She's like,
this is Wendy at the Overlook Hotel. Over.
Hi there, miss. Yeah, it's snowing as a motherfucker out. You folks doing okay up there?
Yeah, we're doing okay up here. Sure would like to know when the phone's gonna get fixed sometime. Over.
Wasn't she in Popeye? Anyways, yeah, so there's Wendy. And, you know, remember Scatman Crothers? Oh, fuck, Scatman Crothers, man. That guy was the shit.
Oh, Danny? Oh, why don't you want to... Hey, Danny, I didn't know you had the shining to you. Like, what's in room 237? There ain't nothing in room 237, Danny. Now, you just don't go in there. I'm the black cook.
And he takes Wendy into the pantry, Scatman Crothers.
Oh, it ain't nothing but a kitchen. We got all sorts of canned peaches, canned vegetables, canned ham, dry cereal, hot cereal, pancakes, raisin bran. We got 10 legs of lamb, 15 pounds of hamburger, chicken breast, chicken thighs, full turkey. I'm Scatman Crothers. Oh, hey there, Danny. Would you like some ice cream, Doc? You want some ice cream, Doc?
Of course they kill him. That's another thing that annoyed me about that film, though. Because in the book, they don't kill him, right? A nigger. Delbert Grady? Aren't you the one who killed your family and chopped them up into nice little pieces and stacked them in the foyer?
No. You were always the caretaker, sir. I merely corrected them, sir. There's a nigger, cook, on his way to the hotel, sir. You must correct him as well. They corrected Scatman Crothers. But like in the book, they didn't kill him, right? In the book, he lived. So I had to read the book because the movie was so fascinating. I'm like, what the fuck with all these people in masks and fucking? And like, why the fuck was he in that picture in the end, right? I ain't going to ruin it for you. You got to read the book yourself. So that was my enchantful day of work at the fucking Metro Convention Center. You know, long about a way of telling it. Thank you for listening. And, it all ended really well, you know what I mean? The dude, he came up and he shook our hand. You know, remember I told you guys about that squared asshole boss of mine? The guy who was like, oh, the drapes, watch out for the drapes or whatever. You know, he turned out to be really cool. He came up to us afterwards. He said, you know what, guys, thank you very much. You did a wicked job today. Everything got done just the way I liked it. Thank you very much. He chipped us off like an extra hour of pay
shook all of our hands, and we walked out of there fed to the gills in the fucking radiance of the Lord, in the radiance of Jesus Christ. And yeah, it was a great day, man. Wicked. And it just got me thinking, because like I say, as a performer, you got to work all these different jobs. Or as a person trying to do whatever the fuck you want to do in your life, you got to work a lot of different jobs. You got to do shit you don't actually want to do. And it keeps in mind, for me, it helps me keep in mind the idea of reflective beauty. The idea of doing something that you can reflect on as beautiful. I ain't trying to be too cute, but it's that idea of reflective beauty, something you can reflect on as beautiful, something you do for yourself, right? And that's why it's a blessing to, like I say, it's a beautiful thing to be able to be physically able to work. I'm just grateful. Instead of, I could look at it as, oh yeah, we're the worst scum of the universe, we work these stupid temp gigs. But it's no, man, I'm just a dude that works these jobs, and it's great, and it keeps me content. I could be humble about it. And I'm not trying to feign a sense of humility, My humility comes and goes. I'm an actor. I got my ego. I'm a comic. I got my ego. I'm a human being. I got my fucking ego. So I got to keep that in check. But generally speaking, reflective beauty helps me to keep my humility, And that's why when I go out and I do a gig, whether I'm getting paid, whether I'm doing an open mic, whether it's a horrible gig, whether it's a fantastical gig, whether it's just complete orgasms, I got to keep that reflective beauty in my mind, So anyways, it's your old chuckle buddy, guess what? Johnathan Ramcharan, reporting live for duty on January 30th, 2018. Jobless. Hit me up at jr.thepodcast@gmail.com, jr.thepodcast@gmail.com, and you have yourself a blessed day. Thank you.